Hello, good evening and welcome to wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching this video. So I filmed this late of an evening in the middle of summer. The temperature was a balmy 32 degrees and we're starting here on Brook Street where it meets Davis Street outside the world famous Clarages. Right, just to prove we're in central London. They're going to do this all the way, aren't they? Didn't no one get the memo that I wanted the street closed for a bit of filming? Anyway, so we've got Clarages right opposite, and it's a beautiful Clarages Hotel, 5-star hotel in the centre of London. And in fact, as far as hotels go, and you want to be right close to the West End, this is without doubt the place to be. Now, we have featured Clarages before, but normally during Christmas, because we pop in there to go and film the Christmas tree. But there you go, that's the beauty of the outside of it. And those penthouses at the top though, with those balconies, can you imagine how much that is a night? Yeah, we might have to have a look and see how much that is and put it on the bottom of the screen. So we're going to have a little walk around London's West End, but the Mayfair part of West End, sorry. There's just more traffic. I swear no one got the memo. So you've got Clarages there, which then goes into the separate ballroom here. And I must admit, a couple of times ago that I came down here, that was the time the King had just been dropped off and he was going in there for some event that was happening. Yes, King Charles was going in there for some event. They've got some lovely detailing there just under the flags. And this is quite an interesting street, Brook Street actually, because, and I've shown you before when we come into London, there's lots and lots of blue plaques. Now, blue plaques normally commemorate people that have lived there at some point in their lives, and they put blue plaques up to mark these places. And this is quite a musical street, so we're going to have a look at some of those in just a couple of seconds. But before we do, let's have a look at our first plaque. Sir Jeffrey Watville, who was an architect, lived in that building there. It's now a shop called Brown's, and I bet it wasn't a shop then, but he actually lived in there between 1766 and 1840. Now, whether he designed it and whether he designed this whole lot, Lord alone knows. But anyway, he was there. Now, you've got a very nice little alleyway down here called Avery Row. And this is the other beautiful thing about London. You've got all these different sort of alleyways that you can discover. And down there is absolutely packed because you've got pubs down there and everyone's spilling out into the street. But also down here, you've got a Paul Smith. So if you fancy going shopping, just slightly off, then it's really good. Now off Brook Street as well, you've got South Molton Street, but that is under a lot at the moment, and I mean a lot of renovation work going on down there. Oh, this is interesting. Here we go. We have, this is what I love about it. From the summer of 1723 to his death on the 14th of April 1759, Handel lived and composed many of his greatest works on Brook Street. So this is Lancasher Court. And let's just sort of whiz in. So this is a montage to Mozart. There you go. Which is commissioned by the Co-op Insurance Services. So very nice. Apart from the maximum height that you've got there. And actually the reason is, as we go along, not in this building, but just a couple along here. Oh, by the way, we're now approaching New Bond Street, so we're right close to the Bond Street areas, etc. as well. But you've got two famous musicians that were down here. Let's just give you a quick sweep of some of the shops. But the first one that we're going to come to, and it's quite funny actually, because these would have been neighbours, is this one. Now, they've opened this up as a museum by the looks of it. Welcome to the Handel Hendrix house. So that gives you an idea. Now this house is where George Frederick Handel, 1685 to 1759, composer, lived in his house from 1723 to his death in 1759. Would you believe it? Now, in this, by the looks of it, in this building, which is a museum to the both, you'll discover the lives of the composer George Frederick Handel and the rock legend Jimi Hendrix in their homes, which have been recreated and brought back to life. Yeah, that could be one for another time. And the reason for that is next door, above what is now a fashion shop, N. Peel, you have that plaque, which says Jimi Hendrix, 1942 to 1970, guitarist and songwriter, lived here from 1968 to 1969. If you heard that sound, that's probably the bottles being taken out of Clarages, the empty bottles of Moet Chandon and all the rest of it. But anyway, so there you go. And I'll tell you what we'll also do. We'll take a walk across the road so you can see the two different houses. But in theory, you've got two musical neighbours that live side by side in different centuries. And that's also a recognisable sign from London, someone tooting their horn. There you go. Right. So that way, you can see the flags of Clarages, and then as you zoom round, ding, 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 you come to New Bond Street. And just to prove we're on New Bond Street, oh, well, if you carry on straight down this road, it takes you into Hanover Square, which is, well, it's a beautiful little garden square which was closed whilst they were doing the Elizabeth line because they dug it up so they could put the Elizabeth line in and do all the digging and put the tunnels in and use that as one of the access points. As you can see here, Chanel seems to be closed. Actually, that wasn't Chanel before. And also during the winter, up here, not there, but before you hit the sky, is normally where they have the big chandelier. But then as we go down, here, we'll go for a little stroll, why not? It's a summer's evening in London. We're on New Bond Street, heading for Old Bond Street. Shall we see where we go? Yeah, why not? Nothing like a little bit of a stroll. So as I said at the beginning, it's been a balmy day today. It's currently 32 degrees, but the sun is now, thankfully, not in its fiercest bit, and we're in the shade of New Bond Street. Now, I'm not being funny, but is it me, or is that going to be a massive Chanel? Now, Chanel have got premises, or did have premises, on New Bond Street, opposite Louis Vuitton, but they also had a small one as well, small premises, down in, also in New Bond Street, but opposite Van Cleef. So they were down there as well, so that is going to be absolutely massive. So over on the corner there we've got Versace. Straight down that way you hit Regent Street, but this is Grosvenor Street. But as you go down here, and this is what I love about London, you just take a slight side street. I know, I said I might go down to Old Bond Street. Do you know what? I changed plan. And that's the thing I love about it. Quick change of plan. And then you come across little alleyways like this. Now, before we do that, let's just have a quick look at some of the architecture and some of the buildings just beyond the phone box here. Look at those. Absolutely amazing. It's down Grosvenor Street, and this takes you to Grosvenor Square. We've done video on that, which is phenomenal. And if you're American, you definitely need to go there for history purposes. So I'll put a link to that up in the top right hand corner. But what we'll do is we'll take a quick flick back and we'll go up Avery Row and Lancasher Court, which is, as I was saying a little earlier, the alleyway that's open with the pubs, but it's well worth a little walk down here because not only have you got little cafes there, you've got Pret a Manger and all the rest of it, you've got Sparrow, which is an Italian restaurant there on the right hand side, a dry cleaners in the centre of London, you've got Ted Baker, Ted's grooming room. Oh, but you've got Lancashire Court. Let's take a walk down here. So there you go, just as a quick, so you've got more food places and pubs down there. But if we go up Lancashire Court, now this is where we have the mural to Mozart, and that's not easy to say. But then as we go around, oh, there you go. This is closed. But down here, oh, not a lot, but actually if we keep going down, just little alleyways tucked away in the centre of London. And I'm guessing when they get new tenants in there, it'll spring to life. Oh, now this is an area I haven't discovered. All cobbled. And hidden behind there is a nice restaurant. fantastic. Just look at these arches. So this is Lancaster Court, or Lancashire Court, which is right by the side of the Mozart buildings on Brook Street. There you go.
And then
It says it's one of the best kept secrets. Well, it's kept secret because there's nothing open down there, well, apart from a cafe. But actually, if you like the cobblestone bits, we are literally a 30-second walk from Oxford Street. So we are that close to it. So if you like that sort of thing, it's worth popping down there. So that's Lancashire Court, which seems to go in a U shape, because I was expecting to see that mural down there, which it wasn't. The mural is over on that side. So it does a big U shape around the back of the buildings and out the other way. So there you go. A little bit of Mayfair on a hot summer's night, just for you. So I hope you enjoyed that. So anywhere else you fancy me taking a walk, so we can show you a bit of London and some of the hidden bits of London, do let me know in the comments down below. Now Mayfair itself is a phenomenal area, and we've done some walks around Mayfair. So let me put one of the big walks I did around Mayfair, which took out some of the gardens, which are well and truly hidden from public view. And if you know where they are, just behind Mount Street, etc., you're lucky. But I'm going to share them with you in the video. So that's in the top right hand corner. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you soon. Bye.